Hello.
Hello. Is
Hi.
this Lisa Golan?
Hi, it is. Hi, Miss Myers. How are you?
Okay. I'm a
Great.
little hot out here today.
Oh, please, please, don't even get me started. I have to focus, my friend said.
um, you're a girl from Philly, and you moved to New York to be a hairdresser, and they branded you a party girl. What's up with that?
Well, you know what, Rich? I actually became a hairdresser in '83 in Philly. So my Philly piece branded me the name Party Girl. And, I was in with the in crowd. Philly is awesome, but it's a small crowd. And being a hairdresser, I was always invited to social gatherings and life of the party. And so they branded me the name Party Girl. And when I moved out to New York in '96, it kind of sort of stuck. Without even introducing myself as the party girl, someone said, "Hey, Lisa's the party girl," and so I figured, okay, it's my calling, and I did it well. Let me tell you, Rich, I did it well.
Okay. You was also addicted to alcohol for over 23 years, and you couldn't hold down a job. You stayed on the park bench to wait for the liquor shop to open up.
Yeah, well, basically what happened was that came a little bit later on. I was able to hold down a job and have a career being a hairdresser for almost 30 years. I'm 51, and I was an active alcoholic for over 23 years. And as I like to say, at the end of my drinking career is when that had taken place. People tend to ask me, what was your bottom? And I say, which one? If there, for an alcoholic, there's not just one bottom. However, the bottom was me losing my job, my apartment, and ending up on a park bench in Brooklyn on 18th Avenue and McDonald's waiting with the people that lived on that park bench waiting for the liquor store to open up.
Mm. Um, what can you say about the 12-step program you went through to try to
Okay,
stop?
okay. Well, what I can say is this. In my experience, it did not work for me. Now, however, I wanted to make something very clear. My first last call is an absolute alternative method for those of us who have found failure achieving sobriety via 12 steps. One of the problems, I have a couple problems, and one of the problems was I didn't want to, at the beginning of every meeting when we're introducing ourselves, raise my hand and say, "Hi, I'm Lisa, an alcoholic." And I just felt sitting in the room, it was just harping and harping and harping on the fact of alcoholism. And I just felt that I needed to be free. And I didn't want to get stuck in my recovery as I was stuck in my addiction. And that's how I felt. I felt that I couldn't escape via the 12 step program. And the other thing is getting, having some time clean and then having a human moment and relapsing. Relapsing is part of recovery. So via the 12-step program, when that happens, whether you have 22 years of sobriety under your belt or 3 days, you must start all over again. And to me, I just felt that that wasn't realistic. So
Okay.
I went ahead and did my research on my own, which I relapsed chronically for 5 years. and I sought out, programs, and that I did not complete. And someone told me I was getting ready to get ready. So that's my take on the 12-step program. However, my book, Last Call, gives people another way, another opportunity, and I find my way is more realistic. Is a more realistic approach to achieve your sobriety and keeping it that way, because each of us are an individual case. And before we move on, I would like to say God bless the people that the AA program does work for.
Okay. When you was writing the Last Call, what impression did you want people to experience when they read the book?
Well, it started out as under a different name. It was actually called Split Ends Beyond the Hair. So it's actually been out and about under that name with a different publishing company for about 4 years. And I found that when I wanted to revise it and tell how it was living sober now with trials and tribulations, because life doesn't stop just because you put down the bottle. What ended up happening was the laws had changed and they dissected my book, and I felt that I would be a sellout to portray myself in that manner, which took, I wanted to give a shout out to two of my partners, Lewis and Susan, who has been by my side, and without them, Split Ends and now Last Call wouldn't be, because they've helped me get my story onto paper. And what I wanted people to get is, it's raw and it's true. I am not embarrassed of my addiction because it is a disease. So I wanted to make it very clear. I shared all my trials and tribulations, again, left no stone unturned. And I just wanted people to hear it from someone who actually suffers from alcoholism. Because when I was searching and looking for books, and at the beginning of my sobriety journey, there was just books out there written by doctors, and that's great, But I wanted people to hear it and feel it and relate. It's very relatable. The relapsing, the lose. So I just, being someone who suffered, I just want people to be able to relate to me and my journey. And, maybe half of them didn't have it or don't have it as bad as I did. And, if I can inspire someone just to put those boxing gloves on and keep going. So, the biggest message is that it's an alternative, and it's also written by me, someone who suffered actively for 23 years with this deadly disease.
Okay. If your publisher wanted you to write a sequel, what would it be?
Well, actually, during the revised version, the revision of Last Call, I already did that, Rich. I already went in and did a sequel. And my sequel is my trials and tribulations for this past year, just this past year. Actually, I'm one day shy of 7 years sober. And just in the past year and a half, in my sober life, a loved one has been murdered. We found our apartment on Craigslist, and we were ripped off, and theft by deception, and we were able to get the person arrested and be involved in a real life sting. So, there are lots of things that occurred in my life that it would have been just so easy for me to just take a swig. But, I didn't. I didn't do it. It's just not even an option anymore. So it could be a sunny day, and that itch could get you, and it could be something, as dramatic as a murder, someone getting killed that you love. So I wrote about that, and I also wanted to touch on the fact that I promote very, very strongly assisted treatment. And what assisted treatment is, it is for heroin, they give people Suboxone. For alcoholics, we are prescribed Antabuse. And what that is a blocker. And it, everything comes with yin and yang. And I was such a severe chronic relapser that the Antabuse, being in my system, it actually, again, like I said, it cuts the cravings. However, if I drink or Antabuse, I can end up being in a hospital with my stomach being pumped and or death. So that's how severe this disease is. And that's how much I needed to be sober. So I definitely was a hardcore alcoholic. And I also want people to know that that is an option for people out there.
Okay. Where can people get the book, The Last Call?
Okay, so we actually self-published via Amazon. So people can go onto our Facebook page titled Last Call, and then there's a button that they could press, and it will take them directly to my book, Last Call, via Amazon.
Okay. Well, thanks for being on the show today. I enjoyed talking to you.
Oh, Rich, you are so awesome. And I'm giving you a big high five and a huge hug, and I want to thank you for this opportunity.